Hello there, fellow peasants. Today I'm going to be talking about the Johnny Depp movie, Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow, I believe, came out in 1999. So it came out in 1999, directed by Tim Burton. It's got Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci in it. And so I remember when this movie first came out, I just always loved it. I loved how it looked. I loved the storyline. Look, the movie it's pretty different from the novel, from the book. I'm way more of a fan of the story in the movie than I am of the story in the Washington Irving novel. But this movie is it's old school. Like Tim Burton really tapped into the old school look of horror films. Like, you know, because like previously, before the 60s, with Rosemary's Baby and some of the horror films in the 70s, where everything kind of became more modern, more, and what I mean by modern is like, things were taking place in normal people's houses, like the Amityville Horror. That was like happening to a normal family. Horror films up until, you know, the 60s and 70s really were just like sci-fi giant animal bug movies, and they were monster movies. Guy goes to the castle, or there's a huge mansion, there's haunted mansions, a lot of people standing around talking, you know, just a lot of that Hammer horror. And so this kind of is like that in a way. It's that old school monster movie, very gothic looking. The movie is very desaturated in its color grading. Now, some of the interior scenes have a bit more color, but it's a very desaturated picture, and it really works that way. I hope that when or if this gets a 4K release, which I'll definitely upgrade for this is top notch. This is one of my top 5 movies of all time. I'm really hoping that this gets a good color grading, but I don't want them to add too much saturation to the picture. I kind of like the way it looks, like where it's veering on a black and white film in some areas, in some scenes. Some scenes do have color, like I said, but yeah, the atmosphere is great in this. It's just dark, it's creepy. It's the middle of fall. It's fall in New England and upstate New York, and it's this little tiny town. It's a very claustrophobic feel to the movie. And if you haven't seen this, I'll give you the rundown real quick of what this movie is about. So Johnny Depp, who is kind of like a detective, he's a cop or some sort. He gets called up to Sleepy Hollow, which is in upstate New York. Johnny Depp's character, Ichabod Crane. He lives in New York City. He's sent up there to investigate these murders that are happening. He gets up there. The guys who run Sleepy Hollow, the elders of the town, kind of have a meeting with him and explain to him like what's going on, and they kind of like, look, dude, there's no other way to put this. There's a headless horseman running around, cutting people's heads off and shit. We need you to find him, but there's not really much you can do. I mean, and he doesn't really believe him at first. He thinks, you know, he's a man of science, so he doesn't believe in the supernatural. He's just kind of like, what a bunch of crazy hillbillies out here in Sleepy Hollow. I'm sure whoever it is, it's a man of flesh and blood committing these crimes. There's no supernatural ghost. There's none of that bullshit. But then eventually he has a run-in with the Headless Horseman that changes his mind. The Headless Horseman, turns out there's more to it than it's just a Headless Horseman that comes back and kills people. There's a little bit of storyline, backstory to some of the families in Sleepy Hollow, and who's controlling the Headless Horseman in a way. And so there's a bit of a dynamic there with these families and this and that, like some internal drama, which can get a little bit confusing. I'm not gonna lie. I like the storyline of this movie a lot better than the novel, like I said. But it does get a little confusing when they start going into the family lineages and the family trees of who inherited this and who, and all the family bloodlines. The storyline can get a little muddled there. Christopher Walken plays the Headless Horseman, does an excellent job. Christina Ricci, she plays the love interest of Johnny Depp's character Ichabod Crane. The main reason I like the movie is just looking at it. I mean, it's just like, and some of it was shot in locations, and a lot of it was shot on soundstage. They made all the trees. They carved the trees to make them look more whimsical. Because Tim Burton has a very interesting style, and the real life doesn't necessarily look like his warped vision. So they needed the trees to look more whimsical and eerie and Tim Burton-esque. So, they shot a lot of this on a soundstage. Now, I wonder, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think it might be the same soundstage they used to shoot Legend with Tom Cruise. I don't know. I might have just heard that somewhere. I don't know if I could be pulling that right out of my ass, or maybe I heard it somewhere and it's true. I don't know. But yeah, guys, this is a great movie to watch around this time of year. It's late fall, Thanksgiving time. Leaves are falling off the trees. At least up here where I live in Ohio. We're up here by the lakes, so it gets colder. The leaves fall off the trees. And this is a great story, a great American folktale. Sleepy Hollow is... The U.S. doesn't have a whole lot of stories like that. And so Sleepy Hollow is kind of like America's famous ghost story. It's our, it's our witchy European folk tales, It's our Hansel and Gretel bullshit. And so, yeah, that's about it. I highly recommend seeing it. If you haven't seen it before, please check out this movie. I don't think you'll regret it. If you like Johnny Depp, if you like horror films, if you like gothic-looking films, if you haven't seen this movie, watch it. If you have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's worth repeat viewings. That's about it, guys. I'm gonna peace out. I might pop this in this weekend. Light some candles and check out Sleepy Hollow this weekend. I think I might just do that. So, all right. Well, peace out. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.